Okay, I'm popping in to give a little update this week. I wasn't originally planning to. I was hoping that things would just kind of carry on as they were, but there has been an unexpected development in my side effects, which is that I developed a new one. And I don't know if this is due to my administration of the injection this time, or if it's just a new thing that I'm developing and it's going to stick around. I hope not. But what's happening is that I injected myself 2 days ago on Monday night, as usual, and this was my second dose of the 5 milligrams. And after the injection, I noticed that the injection site was a little bit more red and looked more like a puncture wound than it usually did. I feel like usually if I do a nice clean injection, when I take the needle out, there isn't really much to see in the skin. The entry is so small that once the needle goes out, it just kind of closes back up, and it's actually hard to spot. Sometimes I lose track of where I just injected myself because it just disappears back into my skin. And then from there, I haven't had any issues at the injection site after the injection up until this week. So I injected myself on Monday night, and then I noticed that it was more red looking and more noticeable than previously when it would just kind of disappear away. And then the following day, the Tuesday, I noticed that the injection site, the hole was still kind of there and noticeable and red looking, like it was just a small little red wound, which was unusual, but I didn't think anything of it really. And then today, this morning, I woke up and it was feeling really itchy. Just so itchy. And of course I wanted to scratch it, so when I wanted to feel it, it actually felt like a raised red bump, similar to how I react to mosquito bites, just a little bit smaller. And that really freaked me out because I thought immediately, oh my god, it's infected. Like I didn't disinfect something properly, I didn't disinfect my skin properly, there's something wrong with it. But then once I looked up the side effect, it turns out it's actually a very common side effect for people to develop an itchiness and have these kind of raised red welts at the injection site that can last, up to a whole week. So that did calm me down. I was like, okay, this is maybe a normal thing, and I don't need to freak out that it's infected. But I was like, how long is it going to be itchy? And it's like really itchy. Is this concerning? Should I be concerned? And I've just read a lot of forum posts about it, basically, and there's just a lot of anecdotal evidence. And for some people, it does kind of stick around, and it hasn't really gone away for them after they developed it like 1-2 months into their treatment. And some folks, it stayed for a month or two, and then it started to go away again, or they acclimated. Some people think that it's related to the manufacturer of the dosages that they got, and that it depends on what preservatives are in the formulation that they got, and it can vary by manufacturer, or it can vary by dosage. It's just based on batch. And then a small number of people I saw mention the injection technique, and that when the technique isn't as good, it's not as clean of an injection, that they can get this kind of side effect. So I'm really hoping that it was just due to my poor injection technique this time, because I did feel like when I took the needle out, I didn't take it as straight out as I usually do. I took it out at too much of an angle, maybe. So I'm really hoping that it's that and that it's nothing else, and that doesn't stick around, because I really don't want to have an itchy red mosquito bite welt kind of thing happening every week. And for some folks, the itchiness doesn't subside until 1 to 2 days before the next injection. So it's you're just constantly itchy wherever your injection site was. You're just always itching something. And that doesn't sound fun. And then some folks have even found that their injection site welts, they bruise and they stay red or dark, or they just kind of leave this discoloration behind that stays for weeks and months. And that's really scary, because that's actually very much like how I experience mosquito bites, because I have, a very strong reaction to them. And mosquito bites for me tend to get extremely itchy, extremely swollen, really big, sometimes golf ball, tennis ball kind of diameters. And it's also quite common for them to bruise and leave behind some kind of dark area of scarring. And I'm really scared that this is going to start happening with the injection sites, because that's I'm just going to get one every week now. And where do I put them? Do I just start collecting bruises on my stomach that are never going to go away, or that are going to take years to go away? So I really don't want that. I am worried, But all I can do right now is just treat it with the things that people have been recommending. People have been saying ice it, apply diphenhydramine cream, take allergy medications to reduce the allergic reaction, things like that. And those are things that I would do for mosquito bites anyway, so it just sounds very similar to treat it like a mosquito bite, because they're both forms of allergic reactions. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to be a lot more careful about my injection technique next week and hopefully have a cleaner time and not have a weird welt come up. But if it continues, then I will also have a doctor's appointment coming up later this month. And that's to check in about like being a few months on Zepbound, so I can discuss that with my doctor soon and hopefully figure out what's happening and how to prevent it, and hopefully it doesn't come back. I don't know. Yeah, that's been the biggest change this week. It was really unexpected. It was shocking initially, and it's concerning still, but maybe less so. And overall, it's just really annoying, and I really hope it doesn't keep happening. And otherwise, in other news, my other side effects have pretty much done what I expected them to do, which is get a little bit worse again with this dose increase. So the nausea and the acid reflux, heartburn kind of feelings have been sort of making a bit of a comeback. And they're still, like, I think manageable. They're definitely not to the extreme that they were when I first started the medication, but they are a bit stronger than before. So I'm guessing that those will also just kind of, I'll acclimate to them and they'll level out and become very manageable. Okay, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about this week. Thank you for watching, and I don't know when the next update will be, but I will see you whenever that is, whenever some other new change comes up. All right, bye.